Okay, it says we're live. Man, that was fast. So, all right. Welcome from the crossroads of America. Talk show about guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. We'll answer questions from the audience. Just put them in the chat or email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. I have a Patreon page and PayPal and all that good stuff down in the info below. All right. I mean, I don't know if it's actually live on YouTube because nobody's coming to chat. Kingpin was in earlier, but, I ain't seen anybody else. So, could be just me and you talking to each other. Let me pull up YouTube here and see if it's actually showing. That's what I want to look at. Come on. Why is it moving? When I want it, it's moving so slow. So let's have a look. It says we're live. Yeah, nobody in the chat, but it's except for Kingpin. At least he's there. Anyway, introduce my one panelist at the moment, which is New York Outcast. How you doing?
Doing well, Rick. Doing well. Thanks for having me.
I'm on StreamYard today because I got an email from what would you call him? What do they call him? The the word for it, for the person in charge of your computers and shit. The administrator. Is that the word I'm looking for? Anyway.
Maybe. I'm not sure. From StreamYard?
The chamber's down. It's not working properly. So that's why I'm on StreamYard here. If anybody wonders, because I like using. I guess. I mean, there's really not a lot of difference between them, but I'm used to the other one. Let's put it that way. So, all right. So, a Gunpowder Beauty's in here. Raphael is in here. Mystic Guns is here. Oh yeah, where in Indiana were you the other night on that video of yours, Gunpowder Beauty? That's what I want to know. Hey, we got Kingpins here. How you doing? Is he hitting the mute button? Can you hear me?
It might take a second for him to pick up.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry.
He could be busy also. But anyway, I don't know if you saw the title of my show. Did he say that he's going to use F15's and nukes on us? Did I hear that correctly?
Oh, man. I don't know. I didn't see it, but that's what Jason Stewart seemed to say. So
yeah, I think that's what he said. Now, how come nobody's screaming for impeachment?
I don't know.
I mean, that's unfit to be a commander-in-chief threatening the population of the United States. So it's I think it's absolutely disgusting myself. Gunpowder Beauty was visiting roll call. Okay, yeah, he's a good 2.5 hour. Could be up to 3 hours away from. I'm down the other end of Indiana. I'm almost in Kentucky. So, yeah. So anyway, so I was listening to. I mean, I saw that. I heard that part. I didn't listen to him when he was saying it live. Heard snippets afterwards, and they were running that snippet, and I'm saying, no, that isn't what he said. But yes, it is. That is what he said. He's going to use that. Well, I think he said we need. What was it? We're going to need F15's and nukes to take on the government. But he honestly believes that we, the people, means the government. He's a senile old man. He shouldn't even be in there, really. So, I don't know. It's strange times. It really is.
Might be part of the thing is, a lot of people may not even take him serious in a sense. Not saying they shouldn't, a person in that position, but I don't think it's my opinion. I think it's known he shouldn't be there anyway. A lot of people probably feel that way. The guy's, debatable whether he can get through the day without help in some cases. Maybe that's a little far, maybe not, especially with some of the speech patterns and things. But I've seen people that kind of speak like him, things like that aren't capable of paying their own bills according to the government. So he's running the country. I don't know. Maybe they're not, maybe everybody sees it as a joke and figures he's not really doing it anyway. I really can't speak for it, but it is pretty crappy. Unfortunately, I don't think it's the first time I've heard similar statements from political figures, though.
Yeah, true. But it's no, he's not. He's got somebody saying stuff into his ear because he doesn't know what in the hell's going on. But mind you, it seems to me when he goes out in public like that they give him some medication to try to get him through it without him fumbling it up too much. And you can tell the stuff's wearing off when he starts screwing up. What? Oh, did you see him in his press conference the other day where he's leaning over the podium whispering to the reporters for the answers? I tell you, he is weird. It really is.
Sure, none of them had barrettes in their hair?
Do what?
You sure none of them just had barrettes in their hair?
I don't know.
Trying to get a closer look.
Oh, sniffing them? Could have been. Could have been trying to sniff the reporters. So I don't know. It's I just find it really, really strange, and it's getting worse. It is getting worse. I feel, but that could be me. That just could be me. I don't know. Is it getting worse? Or am I just imagining things? Is what I want to know.
People are tolerating it. It's becoming the norm on TV, through all the news networks. So I guess worse is a matter of opinion, on who you ask. And in my opinion, it's just kind of more in your face now.
No, some of the other channels generally, who favor him, but one or two of the what do you call it? Whatever the show's named after, are questioning him now. There was a guy on CNN that was wondering what in the hell he's up to, but that's rare for them to do that because, as you said, most of the other channels are pampering him. But
maybe the switch is coming for VP to become president.
Oh, yeah, that's coming. Oh, God, I'll be honest with you. I'd rather keep the guy we got than have her. She is as dumb as a box of rocks. She doesn't know the answer. She laughs or she snaps at you. It's, she snapped at a reporter the other day when they said about your first trip. That this isn't my first time I've been here. Yes, it is, bitch. As vice president, it has been. You might have been there as a senator or something. You know what I'm saying? But, and then she goes to El Paso. They more than likely had everybody up there to make that thing look great. As Clover Tech says, at least he has an excuse. He is old. Yeah, he definitely is. But, I don't know.
let's buy lots of medications. That's what I'd love to see.
Yeah.
I know people have, I guess, said that you know it can't be done, HIPAA, all this or whatever. But I don't know. I think if you're in charge of the country per state or the spokesman of it, you should pretty much have a clean, you know, medical standing. So I think a lot of, you know, they state 70% of people are on some type of pharmaceuticals. I don't know if it's true or not. You know, it's who they are. I don't. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine, I guess. But if that's the case, there's a lot of side effects, alterations, things that could be happening within Congress, within presidents. A lot of things that I think are kind of a little sketchy, and there's a lot of cases you would be concerned in a private business of somebody's age, mental capability, or should state, or side effects of medication. Same thing with driving, but yet it seems like we, the public, have no idea, what really could be affecting these people, and it doesn't seem like that's even a consideration. So. As long as they pass a general physical, they're good to go.
Well, there's a lot of old people in Congress.
Yeah.
I mean, even what's her name's still there? Oh, Dianne Feinstein. I mean, it's admitted that she's got Alzheimer's. You know what I'm saying? But she's still there.
Yeah. And everybody's different. There's some that are, shit, in better mental shape than we are, probably up till death. But there's a lot that aren't. So, it's just something. I wish there was something to address it.
Yeah, I agree. But I don't know what. Anyway, that was the title of my thing here. Was I couldn't believe the President of the United States said that, and nobody. I haven't seen nobody challenge it. I mean, in Congress. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen a senator stand up and say, what in the hell? Threatening the American people that way. But I don't know. I got the feeling that the American people are starting to see through this bullshit that they're pushing, of what's going on in the country. I mean, look at, was it yesterday or this morning that there was a shooting and a robbery or whatever down in Beverly Hills, right? And all those celebs who screamed that defund the police, first thing they do is get on the phone and call the police for help. There's been a shooting. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know whose house they were robbing. I didn't say, but whoever it was had a security guard, and the robbers shot the security guard, but he managed to get 2 shots off and hit 2 of the 3 and killed one of them. I thought, damn, he must have had some training. He's been practicing to be able to hit somebody, Oh, Sabrina's in the house. DJ Play Nice is here now. So, but back to I want to go back to what you were saying about, what was it, 70% of the people in the United States take some sort of drug? I would say that's about right. I mean, I've said it before in the show. I take a drug because they figured out that I had some not hormones, the wrong word. Something in my brain that wasn't functioning like it's meant to. And they got me on a very mild medication to straighten it up. And I take it every day. I don't even, life goes on. I'm quite happy, So, hey, Night Strike's in the chat. How you doing? So, and what I take is not enough to. Hey, Will and Well Armed, how you doing?
Sorry I'm late. I had to do the driver's license renewal for my birthday tomorrow.
Oh, okay, you got it all taken care of. That's good. Yeah. So, I mean, what I take is it doesn't affect my judgment or anything like that, but it doesn't make me happy all the time, but I don't. I'm trying to think how the best way. I don't get down. I don't get depressed. I don't go way down. Which whatever this imbalance in my head, in my brain was, this medication I'm on just evens it all out. So, so there you go. So I guess 70% is right. So what's new with you, Well and Well Armed?
Well, I had the 1,000 giveaway, and DJ Play Nice won that. So thank you everybody for.
I was rigged.
Yeah,
it was rigged. Well, good luck. Good for him.
Yeah, he's like you. He's an AK guy and never had a AR. So he said he's got an AR lower, and it's going to be his next project. So he's pretty excited about it.
That's good. Chemical imbalance. That's the word I was looking for, Night Strike. Thank you. That's what it is. A chemical imbalance in my brain. So, yeah, so that's good. I mean, talking about ARs, you see that beautiful stand I got behind me on the wall there. I got it sitting on top of my tool chest as the actual desk stand or shelf.
Can you tell us more about it?
But I also have it also comes with a wall mount, which my AR is on now, and it makes it look like it's just hanging in space, suspended. Yes, from R&L Displays. You spell out the word and, A-N-D, R&L-displays.com. And that's what you go to that website. Use my discount code to get 15% off Rick's Life. Type that in there and you get 15% off. So there you go. I mean, it even comes with the screws and everything to hang the wall mount on the wall. So there you go. So if anybody needs one, that's the place to get them at. So, and also, if you talk nice to them, they might even sell you a second magazine like I have. So I got two now. I got a permanent one on the wall and a permanent one on the other stand. That way, all I can do is lift it straight off and go and put it back on either one I want when I get home. So I'm spoiled. I know that. So there we go.
Rob, what is the regular cost for the additional mag?
Sorry, I haven't
Did you hear
addressed that yet, honestly. Yeah, for an additional mag. Sorry, I haven't addressed that yet. So
what is the price for the additional mag?
He doesn't know. He hasn't addressed it yet.
Okay.
So, I got one because I'm a spokesman for him. I guess, but I'm sure if you asked R&L Displays for one, that you could work out a deal with them to buy an extra one.
Okay.
I do plan on adding them to the site at some point here. I've just been tied up with work and life. So if anybody's interested in an extra one, you can email the company there, me, or hang tight, and there should be something up, I'd assume, in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. DJ Play Nice put the link to the website in the chat there. So there you go. I don't know. Can you talking about being on this. Is that an actual link, or do you have to copy and paste? You have to copy and paste that to make that link work, or does it? Because like if you're a moderator on the YouTube, you can display them no problem. But I don't know.
When you see a link dropped in the YouTube chat, it may be different on different platforms, but in the YouTube chat, if it's not underlined, then it's a dead link. If it's got an underline under it, then it's usually a clickable link.
Oh, okay.
Now, there's obvious glitches that could happen, and the link might not work, for that one specific, link. But generally, 99% of the time, if there's an underline, then it's a live link.
Okay. All right. That works. I said I don't use StreamYard that much, so that's why I was asking. I'm only using it today because the administrator or whatever you call them of the chamber told me that it wasn't working well today. So
if you're reading the comments from the StreamYard comment section, that's completely unedited. Only thing you see is basic text. Like, for instance, if I were to go right now and Clovertac doesn't have a wrench. If I were to delete Clovertac's last comment, you won't see that in the StreamYard chat. You'd only see it in the YouTube chat.
Oh, okay.
Even if you've got a wrench, doesn't matter. Only thing you see in the StreamYard chat is actual text. That's it. Any of the changes or modifications or whatever on the YouTube side, you won't see that unless you're looking at YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. I am. I'm just reading the StreamYard. I didn't even open up the YouTube one today. So. All right. Oh, Gunpowder Beauty says, I am a walking, talking chemical imbalance. Oh, yeah. So, as Clover Tech says, if you count prescription over-the-counter supplements and supplements, homeopathics, is that how you pronounce it, etc., everyone is on something at some point. So, yeah, that's true, too. I'm sure you're taking something, New York Outcast.
Daily vitamin.
But there you
That's
go.
about it.
There you go. You're part of the 70%. There you go.
Yeah, well, kind of, but it all depends, I guess, what you're taking. Obviously, wouldn't mean 70% of people you would have to be concerned of their mental decisions in a sense or whatever, but definitely there's got to be a percentage of that with certain types of drugs that would be more likely. Obviously, maybe the ones that you're not supposed to drive on, heavy machinery, things like that, or I'm sure I don't have to explain it to some of the side effects and different things the drugs out there. So. Yeah. That's what concerns me. Even some depression medication, there's some crazy side effects with that stuff too. So
there is.
Yeah, and everything, people react to things differently. So I've known people that try that Chantix and they end up wanting to kill people, or they half go nutty and got to stop it just to quit smoking. So you never know.
I use that to quit smoking. Now, it gave me some, it didn't give me nightmares, but it gave me, the dreams I was dreaming, they were very real and vivid. Like you were there living them, but nothing to run to the doctors about. It worked for me. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I've heard that from people taking that.
Just it. Everybody's different.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys down there in Georgia are getting sued by the government for your voter laws.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of states like Rhode Island that don't have as many pre-voting days, and we still are keeping the drop boxes open, but only if they're monitored and taken out. And
I know. I know what you mean. I mean, actually, the voter laws are still easier in Georgia under the new law than they are in Delaware.
Yeah,
and that's where the president comes from.
The thing about not being able to give water to people in lines, that's not even true. They wanted poll workers for a particular candidate to be able to give a bottle of water with his name on the bottle of water, or her name on the bottle of water, which you're not allowed to give anybody anything of value while they're standing in line. But you can give unbranded water, or could say, Publix or ABC Hot Springs, but you can give that to the election people and they can give it out, but you're not allowed to as a volunteer for a particular candidate, Republican or Democrat.
Yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with that myself. But anyway, did you hear the beginning of my chat where I was saying about I couldn't believe I heard our esteemed president with 80 plus million valid votes say that that we're going to need F15's and nukes, to beat them. So that means he's going to use them on us. Is what the way I took that.
I think that's the only way you can take it is, bring in a whole woke army that is willing to fight the U.S. I think there's something called posse comitatus that restricts that. But if you got a whole woke army that doesn't know about the Constitution or Bill of Rights or anything else, why wouldn't they?
Joe Biden didn't threaten anybody. I mean, I get the passion, I get the frustration, and I get all that. It's over now, so the reality has to sink in. And he didn't threaten anybody. He didn't say anything that all of us haven't said at one point in time. Every time we've had this conversation about fighting back against the government, somebody with a little bit of brains goes, "So, are you going to take on a Marine battalion? What if they got jets? What if they got rockets?" Joe Biden was trying to be a smart aleck. It's just like he's still the same guy he's always been. He's a smart mouth, cocky jerk. And that's what he was doing. He was being a schmarmy jerk. He didn't say, "Hey, I'm going to bring my F-15 and drop a nuclear bomb on you." He said nothing different than any normal person. If you walked up to a person in the grocery store and was like, "Hey, I'm going to go fight the government. I got my gun," they're going to say, they got the military and rockets.
Yeah, I understand, but how can I put it? But somebody in the position he's in, even if he is we know he's a smart ass, should be careful what he's saying because the whole world's listening to him.
This goes back to my point that we were talking about a couple weeks ago. Why I'd be more surprised that Joe Biden didn't say that if he did. I don't understand why. I still can't get why we get so fired up when the people that hate us show how much they hate us. Yeah, if you got into a boxing ring and the guy across the ring punched you square in the nose, you wouldn't go, "Hey, you punched me in the face. How dare you punch me during this boxing match?" That's Joe Biden's job, is to piss you off and to screw your life up because he's against you. I just can't grasp why we keep getting shocked when the people that hate us hate us.
All right. So what are we meant to do?
You can do what we're doing. Have the conversation about it. Mock the guy. Make it known to the normal people who don't pay attention. Hey, this is kind of ridiculous that a president just said, hey, that they've got military grade weapons that they'd fight back against us with, and make a logical argument. Don't get fired up. What I'm talking about is don't take all this so personal. This is a part of the game. This is the war that we're in, and they are on that side. So their job is to destroy us. So I just don't want us to keep getting shocked when they do stuff that's contradictory to what we believe and feel. That's their job.
Don't take it personal. Damn, it's too late for that. I already stripped the Honda to make my F15. What the hell, man?
See, but that's not taking it personal. That's being ingenuitive and resourceful. That's the wait a minute, you're black. You're not supposed. That's white supremacy, Rob. You can't do that.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So.
And I'm not covering for Joe Biden. You guys know for sure that I'm not going to cover for that potato. I'm just telling us we've got to get in our minds the right way, and we can't let them trigger us with stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much being triggered. I think it's more we're meant to be a civilized, polite society.
When
says some shit like that, you don't expect it.
Go back. How long have you been in the United States paying attention to politics? 30 years, 40 years? I'm not too sure how old you are.
About 30 years. I mean,
all right. When have you ever seen any decorum in politics ever?
I know. Maybe it's wishful thinking on my part.
But and that's the point of it. I'm not saying don't be disgusted by it. Just don't fall apart about it. Keep a level mind that the guy across the ring just punched me in the face because we're in a boxing match.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from, but it still ain't right.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think he. If we're talking about presidential and we're gonna have that conversation, like same thing with Trump and some of the stuff that he did, you'd expect the president to come up above that, take the higher road. But remember, a couple years ago, Eric Holder said, Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. He said, no, when they go low, we kick them. They aren't playing anymore. And that's another thing that's frustrating me. We're still playing a game with them. They're not kidding around. They're not goofing off. They're serious as a heart attack, and we're still not.
That is, I think you're hitting it on the head there. We're not. They played. They don't even play. As you say, they're not playing. They're down and dirty how they work. And as much as I hate to say it, we need to do the same thing to them.
No, that's what we were talking about on Jason. Good men don't have to be dirty. Good men just have to have a stronger constitution and a stronger will to continue doing the right thing. But when it comes down to them being dirty, don't accept it anymore.
Maybe that's what I meant.
That's the thing. We've accepted it. We don't have to kick them when they're down. We don't have to do that because how'd they get down? I just hit you with a fist and dropped you. That's how you went down, because I stood toe to toe with you and I popped you once and you fell on the ground. Now that you're on the ground, I don't need to kick you. If you make me kick you, I'm going to kick you. But I don't need to do that. Their whole deal is get 70 of them to trip you, and when you're on the ground, start attacking you. We don't have to play dirty. All we just have to do is not put up with their crap and not accept it.
Yeah. But they're playing dirty seems to get done what they need to get done.
We won't push back. Black Lives Matter and Antifa burned down 7% of the country last summer because they were allowed to do that. That's the only reason, is they were allowed to do that.
Yeah.
January 6th, grandma, 49-year-old grandma is going to jail for January 6th because she wasn't allowed. They're not putting up with that crap. They're going hard. We let Black Lives Matter burn Portland down for 300 straight days.
There's about 40,000 hours from the Capitol of video, and maybe it'd be good for them to show the public what all was on those tapes. All of it, especially these FBI guys that were egging on, especially the Black Lives Matter guys that were infiltrating, the Antifa guys that were infiltrating. I mean, there were a bunch of people in there that weren't just patriots. If there's video of it, I'd like to see the video of Ashley Babbitt on both sides of the door. I mean, maybe it was a congressman that shot her. We don't know if it was a Capitol Hill policeman. And why isn't he on trial? I mean, the last thing I knew, you can't shoot through a door just randomly at a door at anybody, right? I mean, could have been another Capitol
unarmed lady.
Well, Ashley Babbitt.
Unarmed. Everybody was unarmed. How do you have an insurrection of unarmed people?
Well, just to clarify real quick, Ashley Babbitt, he took a direct shot at her with perfect aim when he shot Ashley Babbitt. He didn't just blindly shoot through a door. He aimed directly at her and shot her.
Well, I thought he shot her through smoked glass.
No, the glass was broken and she was climbing through the hole in the window now. Like where there used to be glass, there's a hole now, and she was climbing through that, and he popped her. And there was all kinds of armed men in the hallway that she was in before she started climbing through the window too.
Armed men from what side?
The government.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew that. Just wanted to clarify.
You actually can see them jump back and start yelling. It was almost a friendly fire incident there due to that. So there is video of that. That's the only video I've seen other than a couple short clips, but I'm told the full video is, they're not letting that out.
The best footage, though. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bud.
Did I come into this at the nuclear weapons and F-15 part or something else before I jumped in here?
No, you came in at
Fly my F-15.
Yeah, you came in at the right time.
Okay.
Well, what do you have to say about it?
Joe Biden didn't threaten to nuke the American public or to turn the military loose on the American public. Joe Biden said that all of your arguments about the Second Amendment being to deter or fight back against a tyrannical government are a moot point because the government outgunned you. He didn't say he was going to use the military on the American public. He was saying your argument is null and void. And the average American who doesn't know the Constitution, doesn't care about the Constitution, doesn't care about freedom or liberty or their rights or anything, isn't involved, doesn't want to be informed, is just what they hear on TV is the truth, and that's just it. They don't want to think for themselves. They don't want to listen to that and said, he's right. He's right. What do you need these for? If you're saying the main reason you have this, the main reason this law was written, the main reason this law exists, the main reason you go out and support this law is because it's for doing this, and he just proved that you can't do this, then what's the point in having the law? But instead, everybody's getting pissed off and getting on YouTube saying he threatened to kill us, and that's not what he said. And believe me, I don't support the man. He's in there because of a lie, because of fraud. He is not the person that won the election. However, as the unofficial leader of the country, it is not right for him to say things like that. But a bunch of people who are simply trying to get more Patreons and trying to get more people to join their rights organization and trying to build their analytics and sell their T-shirts are getting on social media and they're being irresponsible. And everybody is just parroting what they're hearing on social media instead of stopping and listening to what he said.
That's pretty much the same point that I was trying to make too. I'm fine with people venting and getting it off their chest and having the conversations about it. But now it's done. Now we need to logically move forward.
Oh, don't worry. The GOA's already been out there asking everybody for their money because we're in the fight of our lives and all this other stuff. All you have to do is have one of these clowns go on TV and make a speech and then have CNN, twist their words or start filling in stuff that was never even said or whatever it is. And you'll get spammed with a whole bunch of emails saying, we need your money, we need your money, we need your money.
Okay. I understand where you're coming from. As I said, I understood where Kingpin was coming from. But the way he said it, right, is so if we did rise up to take the tyrannical government back, he would use it on us because they.
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't, Rick. No. You can't use nuclear weapons on the country. First off, the missiles that we have, I don't even think you can turn them around and get them to come right back down where they came down, launched from. The way that they're aimed, they're going to go to another part of the planet. So you can say, well, he's got tactical nuclear weapons. Sure, he does. He has stuff that he can deploy from aircraft, and he could launch from a sub off the coast and attack. So there are ways to do it. But the nuclear weapons most people think of are the ICBMs in the ground in Nebraska, even though somebody thinks they're in Texas and they're not. So that's part of it. The other thing is any weapon, even a tactical nuclear weapon that you use, that stuff it's not it's not going to get a bunch of us in a pole barn somewhere having a meeting. It's going to get the entire county. And then that cloud is going to go follow the wind. And 3 days later, it's going to be in New York.
Let's not even waste our breath on nuclear, but let's talk about F-15s. Let's talk about drones.
Okay, no. Let me talk about F-15s. As a United States Marine, I know that I have the right to refuse an unlawful order. If the President of the United States, if the Secretary of Defense, if the Commandant of the Marine Corps, if the Lieutenant Colonel in charge of my squadron tells me to fire on American citizens, and I believe it is an unlawful order, or I've got an NCO, staff NCO, or officer telling me we are not doing this, this is unlawful, we can refuse that order.
Both of us were in the Army prior to now. Now they're recruiting a woke army. I mean, now it's a mother, it's a woman with the two mothers. It's the transvestite. It's not the same army.
Then bring them on. I will take 10 of them for every one of me.
They are actively kicking out the generals that are not going along with this. And it goes all the way down the main. And
those pussies can't fight. Those pussies will drop their M4s and run back to their MRAPs as soon as we open fire with our hunting rifles.
Okay, great. General Mealy is studying communism. He's studying Marx. He's studying Lenin. He's not studying warfare. Well, I don't know what the pussy is. He even has a job in the military, but he's not our man, and he is woke as you could be, and he's developing a woke army and woke military. That's what they're doing.
Let me try to rein this in just a little bit, see if my thoughts make any sense to you guys. Joe Biden and most of the politicians believe that the military will back them up. Like if we showed up with our army tomorrow in DC, they believe that they blow the whistle and the military would all join in behind them to protect them. They believe that. So I believe Joe Biden thinks that if we uprise, the military would have his side. Whether they do or not, who knows? Some people yes, some people no. But if the war broke out, you've got to think about these people are thieves. You can call them communists, you can call them this, you can call them that. They're all about stealing. It's the profit. They want to make that money, and they want to make as much of it as easy as they possibly can, no matter who they hurt. And in that, you've got to take into consideration, do they want to destroy New York City over a civil war? You really think that they're going to have B-52s carpet bombing Chicago?
New York is 80% Democrat.
No, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Take Oklahoma. Take the most conservative Tennessee.
To begin with, so you can't assume to think that you're going to know what anybody's going to do in that situation.
No, to Kingpin's point. To Kingpin's point, if you have an F-15 with a laser-guided bomb and it hits the pole barn out in the country where we're all having our meeting about our insurrection and kills us all, they win. If we had that meeting in a city, especially a city that had a lot of Democrats in it, and they missed, and they hit a school building full of kids, or they hit a church, or they hit a retirement apartment complex full of a bunch of liberal voters, or any of that stuff, do you think for a second they would get away with that? Do you think no, they would. No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they
Just
would.
like using a nuclear weapon on American soil. You cannot
because they'll blame us for having that meeting in their city.
No,
If
okay,
they
you
hadn't had
know,
that meeting there,
Rick, it
he
doesn't
wouldn't have
work
done
like that. It
What they would
doesn't
say
work
would
like
be,
that.
we blew up ourselves. They would say a bunch of rebels were in a
Yeah.
barn and they stupidly blew up themselves.
Look,
And
at
that's
this,
in the story.
Okay, yeah,
All the media would say,
because
believe it.
an explosive that we set in a pole barn looks the same as a 2,000-pound laser guided bomb. It's just like
Yeah,
the people who say that a plane didn't fly into the Pentagon, or the people who say the Branch Davidians didn't set themselves on fire. There is stuff that if you know how it works, you can tell what is true and what isn't true. And the conspiracy
okay, so
theorists
CNN
will
is
help
gonna
them.
go along
So
with
yeah,
that
sure.
story,
If the
they're gonna
conspiracy
investigate.
theorists go out there and be irresponsible,
CNN is going to
yes.
investigate or go with that story that the government tells them.
Not
guys,
necessarily.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust half the stories now. I mean, and you know,
Exactly.
just look at Washington, what we were talking about, the insurrection and all this shit. I was there.
look at the
That's not what
people that
happened.
wanted to
But that's
kidnap
what they
the
talk
mayor
about.
and,
That's what they say. It was all our fault. So why
And
would
when
it
we
be any
stand up
different
and when
they
we
control
use
the
platforms,
media?
when we use platforms like this to try to get the truth out, when we stand up and we have facts on our side, when we have eyewitnesses on our side, when we have other things, we're pushing back. We're doing it the lawful, legal, logical way. We're not going out there and turning into a real insurrection. It wasn't an insurrection. It wasn't an insurrection at all. But if some of the things that people are pushing for a level of violence that I am not willing to support, at least not at this point. But there are people who are out there saying we're past that. We should have been doing this years ago. And they're turning every little thing that is said and done into an excuse. But these are the same people, I'm telling you, that will drop their SKS and run. They are not about to really get into a real fight.
collateral damage was the point that I was making. And if I'm going to steal your Porsche, I'm going to steal it quietly with some gloves on, nice and neatly, and drive it peacefully out of the neighborhood so I can enjoy it. I'm not going to crash through your garage door and over your mailbox and through your neighbor's fence, because then I could have just stole the Cavalier in your driveway to do all that. Nancy Pelosi doesn't want to flatten Tennessee because it's profitable to her. So it's not in her best interest to fly a F-15 over Tennessee and carpet bomb Tennessee.
If you have a SWAT team surround somebody's house, that's one thing. When you fly Apache gunships downtown, that's another. And America will not stand for that. If Joe Biden ordered the Air Force to fire a tactical cruise missile, a nuclear-tipped cruise missile at an area that was full of conservatives that were against him, maybe even if they were armed or they're even put a barricade around the city and said nobody's coming or going.
Nukes but you. Nobody's talking about nukes but you.
Joe did.
Well,
okay. Because a bunch of irresponsible people on social media keep saying he wants to kill us, and he doesn't want to kill us.
You don't have nukes or no nukes. Any type of military superiority, high tech, more than what John Schmo could have and operate without extensive training. That's what we're talking about. So whether he says nuke or whether he says Moab or submarine, it doesn't matter. We're talking about military capability.
If they send the military in any form to do more than stand guard duty or to do disaster relief, and it turns into an actual conflict, more so than Kent State, okay? More so than a one-time event. It will be something that will get all American, well, not all American, it will get a majority of Americans who've been sitting on their ass to go, oh, whoa, wait a minute. Why are there tanks downtown? Why are they flying gunships? The first time an F-15 loaded down with thousands of pounds of ordnance has a mechanical failure, the pilot ejects and the thing lands on top of a school building and kills 1,000 kids, because military aircraft typically don't fly around armed. They don't. I don't know if most of you guys know that, but they don't. But it's flying around armed because we might have to drop it on a couple conservatives. And it falls into a school building full of kids. The American public will go, what the hell is going on? And you can come up with all your bullshit about they'll blame it on us. They'll do this. They'll do that. Okay, sure. There are plenty of people in America that are dumb enough to fall for that. But when it gets to their neighborhood, they'll suddenly realize what the hell is going on. There are lots of stupid people out there who want to complain about what they voted for because they chose to be ignorant. They chose to put their head in the sand. But it is not as bad as everybody's making it out to be. But if you make it out to be bad, you're going to get views. You're You're going to get subscriptions. You're going to get Patreon. You're going to sell your stupid AR-15 is necessary T-shirt, Mr. Coleon Noir. People are putting good information out there, and they're getting people to. People are putting good information out there. It's the way they're doing it. They're being irresponsible because they don't care about the Second Amendment. They don't care about you. They care about making money. They're no better than the people they complain about.
Oh, so there we go. Should we move on to a new topic, or do we want to carry this one going?
Well, by the way, I do agree with
we lost him. We lost him.
Well, I do appreciate the way he changed it, and I'm saying that first bomb or whatever would happen in the pole barn, and they blame it, and CNN and NBC, ABC, New York Times, they're all going to agree with it. Once it starts to become all over the place that patriots are blowing themselves up, well, you do it 3 times, and somebody's going to say, "Hey, that's the government doing it," right? I mean, it's the same with houses. Once 50. Red flag goes off in a city, we know it's no longer, just a really dangerous guy, but an attack on the people.
Well, you also got to take into tactics as well, because obviously, no disrespect to anybody in the military, but if you needed F-15's and nuclear bombs, we wouldn't have been in Vietnam as long as we were. We wouldn't have been in Korea as long as we were. Sure as hell wouldn't have been in Afghanistan for 20 years.
Oh, talking about that, the Taliban has kept the American army at a standstill for 20 years. And they don't have nukes or F-15s.
Now that could be a tactical thing, because there's probably a few military guys sitting out there going, we could have conquered Afghanistan in 5 days if we were allowed to just do our job. So that could very well be what would happen here is bad tactics, long, slow, drawn out mess.
Oh yeah. But I understand where William Alarm was coming from. It's the same as the police, the military. They're drumming out anybody who's patriotic and believes in the Constitution. They're trying to get in the army and in the police is yes men or yes people. For when they say jump, they all shout back, "How high, sir?" So when they say shoot, go in there and shoot those guys. They have no qualms of standing there shooting American citizens. Because that's the kind of people they're hiring and training now. That's how I feel about it. So, I'm not saying there's still a few in the military, diehard still in there right now, but they're weeding them out. They're weeding them out.
I mean, how many majors did Obama fire on one Friday? I think there were 800 Army majors that he got rid of, and that's all the hardcore guys that were going to move up into the upper echelon. And that was, I think, in 2012, and he just removed a whole swath of talented Americans that he didn't agree with politically.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, well, people are dropping out of this chat like flies. I wonder, have we upset them? Oh, there. New York Outcast is back. I was worried that we upset you somehow.
No, sorry. I got a call, and it always switches the headset over to that, and then it doesn't like to switch back. And then when it does, I'm not like, for some reason it's connected, but I can't hear you guys through it. So I don't know. So sorry about that.
Yeah. But anyway, talking about what I was there, I mean, take what's her name, Beetlejuice up there in Illinois. She's asking the government for help now, the federal government. I know where this is all heading. This is all heading to a like the FBI and the ATF and the DEA or whatever you call them, they're going to have one sort of like federal police force. You know,
I mean, they gave $300 billion to fund states and local governments with PPE equipment, personal protection equipment, and of that, they found only 1% was used for PPE. They thought it had no ties, and most Democratic states used it for the elections on the Democrat side.
Every state, every single state has got stacks and stacks of federal COVID money that they never intended to spend on anything except for, like you're saying, their personal little stuff. Maryland, Virginia, New York, Montana, Wyoming, Oklahoma, Texas, all of them jumped in on the giant fleece that was COVID-19 and fattened their pockets up and didn't spend squat on what they said they were.
And the same with this new COVID. That was the old COVID bill. Not even talk about the new COVID bill. And the actual new COVID bill, only 12% goes to COVID-related anything. That's 1.9 billion, and only 12% goes to anything related to pandemic. That's pretty insane.
yeah,
Can I jump in on something?
yeah.
That's all right. All right. So regarding the last topic, it's mainly just kind of running this by for the chat or whatever, in a sense. I just, want to point out, we all make opinions off the information we get, and sometimes that information doesn't come from credible sources or blah, 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 or they heard it from somewhere else, and we form opinions on issues. So some of us are different. We get different information, different opinions, but I would just warn people that, you shouldn't be so stiff on saying one thing or another is a conspiracy, because honestly, you personally probably don't know shit. And this isn't just pointed towards Squib or anything like that. But as far as that plane thing, I drove by the Pentagon. I didn't see shit look like a plane. So I'm one of them people that don't think a plane hit the Pentagon. So we can agree to disagree and move on, but we don't have to yell at each other and freak out and, anything like that. And that's just kind of for everybody. I think, even in the chat here, like, we have disagreement. We shouldn't hate each other because we're comparing information that we don't personally know firsthand anyway to begin with. So I'd just like us all to chill and get along.
You're right. In the out there in the chat, though, TJ Play Nice says, isn't the point that soldiers are trained to follow orders? Yes, they are trained to follow orders, but there comes a point where an order is unlawful. I mean, the government says it said that you should not fight your own, like you shouldn't turn your weapons on American people. That would be an unlawful order. But they're training, they're hiring people to not worry about that it's unlawful. Just do what we tell you. And that's what they're doing.
That's what I seen when I was there. Do what you're told. You're not supposed to think. Basically.
Exactly.
So, and if you don't follow the line, even if it is funky, you stand out and you're wrong, even though everybody else is technically wrong. If you're not wrong with them, you're the wrong one. So people assume everybody's going to do the right thing. Like Squib, I would love to believe that, but I've had people steal my dirty underwear in the service. Some people are ordered to go there. Some are just scumbags. Like, just because they're in the Army doesn't mean they're a great person. So I wouldn't count. And now the way things are going with the new Army, like Wield's saying, if they were ordered to pull the trigger on us, I wouldn't be surprised if 2/3 did. I hate to say it, but a lot of people are followers, and let's just face it, there's a lot of people that won't join the military because they're too strong-headed and don't like being told what to do. So the ones that voluntarily do aren't necessarily always free thinkers.
No. Also, besides that, going back to where was I going? Where was I going? Oh yes, slight change of subject, but it's still in the ballpark. Is maybe I'm being a downer here. Is all this 2A sanctuary cities or 2A laws that these states have passed, right? Unfortunately, most of these police departments around the country survive on federal money. If a couple of federal agents show up, say we're going to go hit this place, we need the police department to back us. The police department backs them because they get federal money. And if they say we're not going to do it anymore, and the federal government says I'm taking that money, they're going to say, okay, how many guys do you want with you?
During the Obama administration, I'm pretty sure what they call it is a consent decree. Basically, the federal government will come in and help you run your police departments. Therefore, the federal government runs your police department. And a whole bunch of police departments made that deal with the Obama administration. That's why they get a whole bunch of that extra federal money, is because the feds run the show.
Yeah. And so they can, you could have somebody saying, well, we're going to be a 2A. Some county said we're being a 2A. We're a 2A county, 2A sanctuary county. Don't mean shit, unfortunately. As nice as I would love it to be.
That's the thing about, like, going back to what you were saying about giving orders, whether it's the military, whether it's the cop, or whether it's the guy flipping burgers and you need him to give you a double stack or whatever. It's not like I just invited all you guys over to my house and I'm like, Rick, hey, I order you to go kill that guy over there. That's not how orders are given. I'm going to take time to convince you that what I'm telling you is going to save lives and be patriotic and be helpful to the community, or whatever the case might be. I'll go ahead and call it brainwashing, because it's a form of brainwashing, whether the malicious intent is there or not. But the military doesn't just grab a bunch of guys off the street, throw some camouflage on them, and then start barking orders at them. They condition them to understand that those orders mean something, and following orders means something. And disobeying an order, like Rob was saying, now you're the problem. 30 other guys didn't mind punching that kid in the face. You didn't. Now you're the problem. Now this unit can't trust you if we're over in a desert somewhere getting in a fight.
Yeah. But anyway, I agree with you. It's just, I don't know. I'm getting all twisted up here, so I'm going to change subjects totally. I
got a good one that we can go to if you don't mind.
Okay.
Right? Hey, Rob.
Yep.
What's that you're building there? Screened-in porch?
No, actually, I left the lady at the job and I ran home to unload the truck, so I wasn't near the vacuum. But it's I guess it was like a screened-in porch, kind of, is attached to a 3 or 4 car garage, and it's a section there that did have rails and whatnot. So it had some, old paneling. The ceiling was falling apart. Stuff was literally like paint chips coming down if you close the door. So ripped that all out. Did have storm windows, just openings and storm windows, but ended up putting in new replacements. So installed 8 windows, 2 storm doors, repaneled the ceiling, walls, retrimmed it, made shelves, and now we have to put a little skim coat over the rough portions of the floor and paint the floor with patio paint stuff, or patio floor paint. So which I'll be going back to do shortly here. So, but yeah, times have changed. So left the lady at work. She's caulking windows right now for me. So, and vacuuming the floor.
See, now that's good executive decisioning right there, Rob.
Yeah, that's what I figured. She left me for half the day earlier, so so it's only right.
So you gave an order and she's following it.
We'll go with that, sure.
Yeah, while she's not here, while she's not around to hear it,
yeah.
Damn straight, yeah.
You guys ever watch Key and Peele? Do you guys know the comedians Key and Peele or Key and Peele?
Yeah, I've heard of them, but I don't listen to them that much.
They got this one skit where they're sitting around and it's like two dudes hanging out, two married dudes, and they're acting all tough because the women ain't around. And he was like, "Yeah, my wife came in the other day and told me to pick my shoes up," and I was like, and he looks around, and he was like, "Bitch, don't tell me to clean my shoes up." And he said, "You said it?" It's funny. It's a funny skit. You should go check it out.
Yeah.
I'll find it and leave it in the comments.
The true stuff is always the funniest,
Ralph, you might be listening to the show and you not know it.
Yeah, it's all right. She could be.
Yeah, true. Anyway, anything happening, changing the subject totally, anything happening in the firearm world with you guys? Any new firearms or anything? No? You got any new?
Nothing for me.
Well armed. What have you bought lately? Anything?
Yeah, I got the AI Pro 45, Pro 145. It's a sweet shooting 45, kind of a clone of a CZ 97, but smaller, and it's easy firing, and the trigger in double action is about 4 1/4 pounds, and in single action it's about 1.5 pounds. So it's competition ready if you want to shoot major with it. They only imported about less than 5,000. So I've heard 1,000, I've heard 5,000, so I'm not sure. And then they were only imported to the United States and Italy, and so I'm not sure how many Italy got, but pretty unusual gun.
How did you hear about it and get one?
There's a wiki page of every CZ clone, and I've been looking for every CZ clone, at least one from every company. So I've got all but 3, I believe.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And the Norenko, unless I lived in Canada, I'd never be able to buy. And then I think there's one more. That's pretty unusual. So, the Sterling was made in England, and that's just too pricey. I'm not going to pay $2,500 for that.
No, all right. So I know I haven't got nothing new. I do have. I'm trying to think. I've got some through a friend of a friend. I've got some small pistol primers on the way, all legal and above board. So
congratulations on that.
Yes. So all I got to do now is get some powder. I mean, I have found a couple of recipes that you can use powder that, like I use for my pistols. You can use them to make 223. They're hard. There is good example for one is like a Trail Boss. There is an actual recipe out there to use Trail Boss in 223. So if I cannot find any decent powder to use, I always got that to fall back on. So I'm getting closer and closer to be able to reload my own 223s here soon. So that's what I'm waiting for. It's just a powder to go now.
Hopefully it'll be available shortly.
Yeah.
According to Caliber Corner this morning, products are showing back up at a more affordable price. Not a good price, but more affordable. So hopefully things will keep, flooding out and becoming, practical with pricing.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think reloading supplies, powder, primers, such like that is going to be one of the last things they want, because most people want ammo. You know what I'm saying? Already made, ready to go right out of the box. So that's what all these manufacturers are going to produce first.
A lot do, but I assume some of them probably have, there's probably, I don't know the right words for it, but higher end clubs out there that order large amounts for, specific things, whether it's distance shooting or, hunting lodges, the hunting trips coming up, things like that. So I'm sure there's still a decent portion out there, maybe a small percent, 25% that, have no problem paying a little more to keep business going and have a, demand for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Right now, right now, there's as I said last week, there's Rural King had some 9mm. So I mean, it is starting to show up around here, but not in great quantities. Excuse me for yawning. Oh, damn. Sorry about that. So that's why. I mean, I've got a bunch of 380 sitting right here that I've got a whole box here of mishaps that didn't fire, when I tried to shoot them, or I got a few here where when I was loading them, this was early on. I think this was in my first sort of couple of hundred that I made, that I like pushed the bullet in too far, and that's why I got to take the bullet puller and redo them all. So that's my next project. And I never understood the reason why they call that a bullet puller. You don't pull it, you beat the shit out of it. It's like a hammer. It's the force of smacking it on something that forces the bullet out. So how in the hell is that pulling it?
It's America, everything doesn't necessarily make sense, like the whole driveway and parkway thing, but yeah, you get the hang of it. It's the way it should be.
Yeah. I remember the first time I heard that bullet puller. Okay. Then I ordered one and it shows up and it says the goddamn hammer. It holds the bullet in and everything, and you just smack it down once or twice and the bullet will pop out. So
my range had pretty good brand, the Frontier brand of what I can't think of the name, Hornady, I believe. 5.56 for $11.99 a box. So I think that's coming on down. I'm not sure how much farther it's going to come, but I'm guessing the new normal is going to be 50 cents around, $10 a box.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see the $5.99 a box from IWI or something like that. I think there's going to be a higher new low. That's what it means.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. The prices are never going to go back down to what they were, i.e., just inflation on its own. Everything's gone up right now because of food. Everything's gone up inflation wise. So I can see the price of ammo going up. But it should, as you said, but it's dropping to the highs it was. So, which is a good thing. And I was sitting here thinking, my son called me the other day and I said to him, I don't think I told you this. I reminded him yet again. I said, when I finally go, I said, just put one of those big dumpsters in the driveway, throw everything in it, because I got nothing worth keeping, and except for my firearms and reloading stuff. I said, and I said you can. I said I'm putting you in charge of that. You know, you either take it or share it with your brother, or sell it and share the money, or take and keep it for yourself. I don't, you know, once I'm gone, I really don't mind. But that's about all I
call
got.
dibs.
Do what?
Said I called dibs.
Right, that's what I told my son. You know, so I said I got nothing here that worth keeping. I really don't. You know, so that's pretty. Anyway, totally flipping it, going 180 degree. The more I'm thinking about it, the more. You remember I'm telling you about going to homesteading. You know, getting an acre or two. You know, around here, it depends what's on the land, but just an acre around here, just as is, boom, nothing on it. This raw land is around $2,000. You know, it can be up to 8,000. It depends what's on there. If it's sort of like somebody's already had a building on there and it's got, you know, it's got electric, water, got a well, or got a septic system, you know, you're going to pay more for it. But
sounds about right, Rick. I've been looking a lot lately in different places, but I noticed there is a big difference between counties and whatnot. So depending, you know, where you look, there can be some shocking differences. And I was looking for outside of cities or townships or whatever, not in a city. So it's obviously usually more affordable. City lots, you know, 2-3 times as much in some cases, and you know, it's an eighth of an acre or something like that. So ridiculous. But so that 2,000 an acre doesn't sound, you know, like you're getting ripped off in a sense. So obviously, maybe if it's a swamp or something, that might, you know, but obviously, and depending what's the land look like? Is it cleared land? Is it, you know, is there trees on it? You know, is any kind of, you know, creek near it, flood zone, all that type of stuff you got to think of too. So you don't want to get something, you know, get a great deal and find out a year later that, you know, it wasn't a great deal because it's flooded out for half the year.
Oh yeah. I'll check it all out. Oh, Gunpowder Beauty in the chat says homesteading has been a fun adventure. You know, that's right. I think that's what they went and did. But what I'm thinking is just an acre or two is all I'm looking for. You know, but where I was going with this is I saw that book you showed there, Well-Armed.
Well, it's a book because if you need all those survival skills of country living from 100 years ago before electricity, you're not going to have the internet to look up those skills. So buying a book, you know, having a hardbound paper and printed book is going to be key. You know, if there is a post-nuclear war with, and some people survive from China, then you're going to need to have books. If we have an EMP, you're going to need to have books. You can't just download it from Alexa.
Yeah, you're right.
It's true.
Right. Oh,
if you're real cheap, you can download PDFs now for free, though. So there's a lot of the free books online and PDFs on building water filtration, all types. You name it, it's out there.
Those are individual sections, and if you load them on a PC, you got to print them. So by the time you print, and this book was $21 free shipping with Amazon. So, you know, it's pretty affordable when you're looking at 600 pages of color compared to printing off that many color pages.
Well, where I was heading with all this, I mean, as TJ Paynight says, 2,000 is nothing really, but 1 to 2 acres is small. Now, you got to remember that there's only me, right? And all I'm thinking of is, you know, a few chickens, you know, maybe a hog or two. Just for me, all I'm doing is, you know, supporting myself. And with my back, you know, farming wise, like growing vegetables, I'm not much of a gardener per se, but I could do it. But what I was thinking is making raised beds. That way I wouldn't have to bend over so much. And so my, wouldn't be killing my back, But where I was heading was living. I've been checking on this. Is there's places I found out that I can buy like one of them sheds and convert it to a home, real cheap.
No.
Let me try to get a grasp on what we're talking about here. Are you talking about buying an acre of a plot of land, however big it is, and having a little farm and a little cabin and all that stuff as a hobby? Or are you talking about leaving the spot that you're living at now and moving there and living there as like that's your new life?
That's my new life.
I'd highly recommend you not do that, man.
Why?
I'd highly recommend that you enjoy the air-conditioned, climate-controlled house that you have right now with electricity and all that. Buy your plot of land and a hobby farm and do that.
Yeah, but what I'm looking at is right now, unless you can guarantee, I mean, I know you can't guarantee anything, prices are going up. My fixed income is not. So things are cost. Right now, because I rent where I'm at, right? I don't know what the guy, the person that owns this building now, he's a fair sized company out of Jasper, Indiana. He's got some buildings, a ton of properties. If he's going to start paying more taxes, you know where he's going to get that from, don't you? He's going to up the rent to cover it. If my rent goes up any more than it is, I'm hurting. That's what I'm saying. Is electric going to go up? Is my sewer going up? Is my water going to go up?
All that's going to go up. And you know what else is going to go up? Your age. I mean, I'm trying just being realistic about it. Imagine you're going to sleep in a sleeping bag on the ground for the first month, year, 2 years, till you get your house built and a nice bed. I'm just trying to be realistic. I mean, that's why I said have your hobby farm, and if you need to escape there, bam, go. You're gone. But for just packing all your stuff up and leaving the comfortability of where you live now to go give it a shot, I don't think that's a good idea.
Well,
now, and once if you've had your hobby farm for 4 or 5 years and it's ready to roll, and you're like, man, screw this place I'm in, I'm just going, then I'll help you move. But I'd recommend being strongly established before you leave the comfortability of modern wares.
Oh yeah, I mean that has crossed my mind, but I think I could do it.
That's a big deal, man. Power, all that stuff. You got to think of all that. Even toiletries. It can be a bitch. I know. I'd recommend, at least a little camper or something to stay in if you're just, hitting a light switch, moving out, going somewhere else. And still, like Kingpin says, it's probably not the most ideal, but I know you're really geared up and interested. So, and I'd like to encourage people to follow their dreams. And you are a grown ass man, so
I found a company.
It's your call, but if you do it, be smart about it. And I, like Kingpin, wouldn't really recommend you just walk away from the house and pull up to an empty lot one day, because that's not going to be fun.
Oh, no. I know what you're saying. But what I'm saying is these sheds or cabins, whatever you want to call them, right? I found a company here in Indiana, right? Have it insulated, have all the wall sockets on the wall ready for the electric. Whether you run it off of solar, you might have to add all the things for the solar. But what I'm saying is you have a plug to be able to plug something in the wall, or if you run it off a generator, or if you have electric.
Can you do solar in the area you're looking at? Because a lot of states will insist you have to hook on the grid with solar. So can you do solar the way you're thinking? because there's different types of solar, but most states, a lot of places like to have you hooked to the grid, and then they say, well, if you make more than you use, we pay you back, and try to make it
what the government doesn't know doesn't hurt them.
Well, that's what you think, and then they do a flyover and then come assess the new changes to the property, and they're peeking in your windows, and
yeah, but where I'm going with it, I'll just say it. I can have all this done. I'm talking about this is a 12 by 20 shed. Right? Don't forget, there's only me. Right? And have it insulated and have it set up for electric and everything delivered, set up wherever I want it on this piece of land I get. Right? Ready to go for around between. It depends on the price of lumber, but right now they're quoting between $10,000 and $12,000. Okay, now I don't have $10,000 and $12,000, but they do the lease to own or whatever.
Financing.
Yeah.
Well, is it listed as a permanent structure?
Same with this land. It's going to be owner financed, right? So I'm still going to, even though I'm paying money now, but I'll only be paying it for the next 2 or 3 years. Then I'm free.
Is that considered a permanent structure, Rick? Because you're going to need to know that type of stuff.
Not in this state.
Are they going to allow you to live on land that without a permanent structure? Will they give you like occupancy papers for a mailbox and all that type of stuff? And you're
in that county. Mail at the post office.
But it's still an issue. It's like they will come remove you from your land if you don't have your paperwork right. So, this is all shit you need to look into before you sign up to buy any damn thing.
One of the things, you said it a bunch of times already, and you got to look at it from the other side of the mirror. It's only going to be you. So when the tomatoes need planting, you got to go out there and plant the tomatoes and pick the weeds and run off the coyotes and get the buffalo out your backyard and shovel 85 feet of snow or whatever. I don't, I'm just making stuff up.
Yeah, now. I
know. It's only you, so you don't got a whole lot to deal with, but it's only you, so everything is yours to deal with.
Yes. I agree. And I think I can do it. I might not. I mean, I might fall flat on my face.
I think you can do it. I think you could do it and be just fine if you do it properly. If you take and start right now and start your penny jar and save up and find your plot and do like Rob says, and think every step out to the 100th degree twice. And then in 5 years, you could pack up and move over there and have a good life for the rest of your life.
I'm not thinking that. I'm not thinking that long. I want to do it, sort of by this time next year is what I want to do.
Oh, so Rick, man, I love you so much, but I can't not tell you the truth, buddy. You'll be dead in 6 months.
But as you said, if this land I'm looking for, I'm going to check it all out, make sure as you said, that I can live on it and all this kind of stuff. I want it for homesteading. So that's the kind of land I'm looking for.
Do you have a backup plan? Do you have a backup plan? Like, do you have friends or family or something?
Yeah, I got a friend in Maryland or New York I can go live with.
All right, bet. As long as you've got a good safety net, if you want, like Rob said, if you want to go for your dream, I love you. I'm not going to stand away between you and your dream. I just want you to do it the right way and be careful.
Yeah. Do I have a say? Well, yeah, I reckon I do. Worst comes to the worst, I can go live with my son down in Florida. If all else fails.
I'd make sure you confirm that before you move out. Before you lock the door behind you on that house right there and take that R&L display off your wall. Make sure you confirm that.
Well, yeah, but that's going to be back on the wall in the cabin right next to the front door for I can shoot the coyotes when they come and try to steal my chickens.
But what on the side of Rick, what is he going to do when inflation fully happens? I mean, Rick can't hardly afford his own living right now. He's came and send out patches, but every 3 months sometimes. And
well,
no offense,
I send out my packages once a month.
Well, if he's got a good water source and he can figure out enough farming, because one tomato plant yields more tomatoes than one person can eat in a season. I mean, unless you eat raw tomatoes by the handfuls, so it doesn't take a large garden to fill one person's plate each day.
Yeah.
And if you got a good water source to where you can go and get water and purify it at home and not have to pay for government water or bottled water, you could survive regardless of what happens to the economy.
And as for a restroom, you can use one of those composite toilets now.
You could just poop on your front yard.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, you can use a composite toilet, or you can build yourself an outhouse.
You walk around.
I rather go with a composite toilet because it's an outhouse is great, but it's cold in the winter, and there's bugs and wasps and all snakes and all kinds of shit in the summertime.
Walk around and take a duty in each 4 corner of your property, and once every couple of days go out and do a little sprinkle on the trees, and all the coyotes will be like, "Uh-oh, an alpha male lives here. I ain't going up there. I ain't messing with those chickens."
Also, here's another thing too: is with this piece of property, if it has woods on it, and check out what kind of wood it is, you might be able to I might be able to get some ready cash by getting it lumbered and selling it to a lumber mill.
Or, I mean, if you have woods around, then you have a lot higher chance of protein, deer, squirrels, rabbits, different types of stuff that you don't have to basically live off of vegetation.
Yeah, but I was thinking of having some chickens and a hog or two. I gotta get a power source of somewhere. Because if I'm killing a hog or two or some chickens, I'm gonna need a freezer to put it in. And so I need electric of some sort to keep the freezer running.
Well, theoretically, couldn't you get a sow and then whatever they call the male and just eat piglets? Because you could do salted pork. I mean, you could kill a piglet, dissect it or whatever you call it when you chop it up, butcher it, and then do the old school salted pork technique.
Yeah, sort of on a smoke or whatever, yeah.
So that way you wouldn't need as much, or you wouldn't need refrigeration. You just have to have smaller batches.
Yeah, you could smoke it and build a smokehouse and smoke everything. You can even smoke beef as well, besides pork. You can build yourself a big smokehouse, put it all in there, and it will keep for ages. So,
a composite toilet costs money. A smokehouse costs money. Drilling a well costs money. I mean, there's a lot of things you need to
okay, now here you go, right? All I need is buy one of them big plastic water tanks, right? There's here in town, actually, in the Bird's Eye. You can go to the fire station, pay $2, and fill up. I think it's a 500 gallon tank for $2. So,
yeah, but if you're going to buy a property off near the woods, you could probably find a river or stream somewhere and just pot your own water.
But I'm just saying, if you want water, I mean, there is a solution for everything.
How much do you think a 500-gallon drum or container, one of those big cubes, weighs? I think last time I picked one up, it was about 120 pounds. I'm sure materials are better than they were 20 years ago, but it's still going to be a heft to put one in a truck or keep it on a trailer. And again, that's going to cost money.
One of the things, what about roads? Like, is there a driveway back to the property? Is there a road that leads to the property somehow? Because, if it's muddy and rainy for a week, you're not going to be able to drive your truck through the field to get to town to get supplies or whatever you need to do.
Oh yeah, I plan on buying a piece of property that's off as, even if it's a gravel road, You know.
Yeah, just as long as there's something there that you can
Yeah.
use as a pathway. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been looking online.
You usually got
You know.
a lot of times you got to make your own entrance and stuff from the road or street or whatever. So, that would be land that's already kind of prepped. So there's going to be a higher cost for that.
And with chickens, you need chicken feed. With hogs, you need hog feed. Or go to Deb's and see if she'll give you all her scraps. But food is something you need to account for the hogs. It's not just. I mean, even if they're free range,
Yeah,
you're right.
You're right. And where I'm going with this, the first couple of years, why I'm paying for the land and my cabin or whatever, it'll be tight. But after that, I'm not paying any rent. So that money that I'm paying for all that is available to buy all that stuff.
What about property tax? Yeah.
Do what?
Taxes.
Yeah. I know all that. I mean, I don't expect to be sitting on a piece of land and my whole disability check I can spend on guns and ammo. I know there's going to be expenses, but I'll be able to control it. And I got something that even after I paid for a piece of land or this building I'm going to buy to live in or whatever, once that's paid for, it's mine. You think, I mean, what am I paying now? I mean, I worked it out the other day. With rent, sewer, water, electric, even down to my cell phone, my internet, my cable, my satellite TV, my streaming channels that I pay, and everything else. I mean, I'm forking out a little, around $1,100 a month, right?
Yeah, you bring up a great point.
Now, 1,100 times 12, that's a lot of money.
How much of that stuff do you pay for right now? Some of the internet, some of the movie stuff, things like that. All that's probably gone out on a piece of property. So, in theory, you could just quit paying that shit and pretty much stay where you are. I'm not trying to discourage anything, but I'm just stating.
Oh yeah, if you're willing to sacrifice that much, if I cut the satellite TV out,
sacrifices right now.
If I cut the satellite TV out and some of the streaming station, cut my cell phone down to some cheap buy as you go plan, right? I can more likely save maybe $200 or $300 a month. I'm thinking,
Well, that's huge, yeah.
But
All right, so you gotta keep at least your cell phone so you can do at least one more Rick's Life as I see it from the farm, and you gotta have bibbed overalls on with no t-shirt underneath and one of them straw like hee-haw hats.
Oh, I got overalls already. I mean, I wear them a lot of times in the wintertime and fall because they keep me warm. They're not insulated, but they're heavy denim. So, oh yeah, I already got some.
Well, you're well on your way.
There's lots of ways people can save money. Cell phones is a great place to start.
Yeah.
What I've seen.
But this is what I was thinking too. Right now, the cell phone I have, it's a hotspot as well. So out there on my property, I use my phone as my hotspot, and I can still hold my Rick's Life as You See It shows.
Yep.
Hey, my internet now ain't that great, and you guys listen to me. It ain't going to be that much different on a hotspot.
There you go. That's two. You got two things going for you already. You got the coveralls and the internet sucks.
Yeah. So, I think it's feasible. I've been writing me a list out of what I'm going to need.
That's a great place to start.
Are you looking for Indiana? Are you staying?
Yeah, I'm looking for. Well, the reason I moved to Indiana was because as you mentioned, I'm getting older, right? And I do have a disability, my bad back, right? So taking care of the pigs, and I'm going to have to do it slowly because of I can't carry 100 pounds of pig food in my arms anymore. I'm going to have to either wheel it there or drive it to wherever I'm going with it because I can't lift it anymore like I used to. So, it's. I forgot where I was going with that now. I got all confused. I was thinking of something else. What were we talking about? My mind's
you were describing your highly automated, technically advanced factory that you're going to move into, so you don't have to pick up anything, carry anything.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking. See, that's why if you remember a couple of months ago, I was talking about that I wanted a side by side. That would come in handy, but it's not necessary. I got a pickup truck with 4-wheel drive.
You could probably you could get a golf cart. I mean, people sell golf carts. They're not cheap, even the used ones, but you could get a golf cart to do the same thing a side by side because it's not like you need to off road with the thing. You just need to, use it as a cart from here to there, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I'd look on like your Facebooks or whatever, your yard sale type of thing that you have in your state, and look for a used golf cart.
Yeah, and as I said, I've been looking at stuff, and this part of Indiana, it's feasible to do what I want to do. And
Rick, I would scale back on the cabin and focus more on the land and the animals and water situation. That's where and let that prove out, and then have phase 2. Because last time you've been talking about this for a while, but it's always just been land and animal, and now you expanded to a cabin, and that's why we're giving you a little grief. But either way, you need to put a full list and give it to us, and we'll bounce around. And there's some people out there, I'm sure, that know more. Homesteaders and people that are already doing it out there.
I know what I was talking about. He was asking me where I'm looking. I'm looking around here because of my disability, my bad back. I'm getting older. I would like to keep it around here because I have family here, relatives, uncles, and I only got one uncle, one aunt left, but I got hundreds of cousins around here. Some of them I don't even know.
Do any of them got a big backyard?
Yeah, some of them have land too.
Get a few chickens and pop a tent in their backyard and throw them $50 a week.
Yeah. I mean, that's who that's who I was planning on going seeing in the next couple of days. My cousin, he has about 100 odd acres, and he knows everybody in this area. I mean, literally, he does.
Then that's your plot of land. Buy a plot of his 100 acres. Find 1 or 2 acres off in a corner somewhere.
If he's willing to sell.
That would be your first question right there. Bam. Would you sell me an acre over here in this corner? That'd be the most optimal for you, because if something went wrong, you got 90 acres to get to somebody who cares about you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's, I thought of that too. I was thinking, even like you said, even if I don't get this cabin, what I'm thinking of, I could buy. I mean, I know I could buy me one of those Class C RVs. It doesn't even have to. The engine doesn't even have to work, but it's something to live in. I know you can buy them for $2 or $3 grand.
You could get a pop-up camper.
No, it'd be an old meth lab.
Yeah, there you go. Get a pop-up camper and take a month and camp on your cousin's property and check it out and see how you like it, and tell him, be like, look, man, I'll make payments on you. You figure out a good price and I'll pay you this. That way you can be on the books and not have to worry about, the bank and the creditors coming after you for the money, because it's a family thing, so there you go. There's 3 things for you, Rick. You should start packing, man.
I know. I'm thinking about it. I really am, seriously. So, I'm hoping to I'm seriously working on it. I'm not going to be moved next week. I said it might be a year from now, but it's something I'm working on. You know, I think I could do it. That's all I'm thinking. You know, maybe my fortunes will change. Inflation will drop down. The Uncle Biden will give me a huge increase on my Social Security. You know, then I can stay here. You know, so see, Gunpowder Beauty does it. You know, so if she can do it, I can do it. It's the way I look at it.
Didn't she just move like twice and end up where she is not long ago?
Yeah, well, she's in the chat. I think originally she went to Michigan, then she moved down to Missouri.
Told her she can't handle that kind of cold. She was like, "Oh, I got it," and then moved.
Well, I think she
I think she's working on it. I wouldn't say they got it nailed.
I think she moved. I could be wrong, but I think Gunpowder moved because one of her family members fell ill, and that's why she moved down to Missouri. You know, if I remember correctly. But anyway, that's the kind of thing I want to do. Not on a big scale. 1 or 2 acres is all I need. Just as I said, it's just me, my chickens, and my hog. And I'm not talking a motorcycle. Yeah, moved from Texas to Michigan, then finally to Missouri. See, that's what she did. So, you know.
Have you ever considered tree farming, or like an orchard of some site or some type?
That takes too long.
Turnaround's not overnight, but if you could get, say, 5 acres, dedicate 3 to something else that's going to make you money, that might be a good idea, especially if you're buying it through family without crazy interest or this or that.
Yeah.
Then if something happens and you're not up to par for some reason, you know, plane fell on you, broke your leg or something, you still have a alternate source of income with, you know, not much maintenance and trimming, things like that, keeping an eye on things. But that's obviously planning, but, you know, in some cases you could probably borrow some machinery. So,
yeah. Well, also this cousin I was telling you about, who I'm going to go see, actually owns his own bulldozer. And so I thought bring that and get him to come over with that, build myself a small shooting range on my land too. You know,
you should just give me his number and I'll talk to him for you.
You know, so that's what I'm thinking. What you call it? Which my wife's dumbass wants to pay someone to go pick cherries. I told her I was not paying to do someone else's work for them. She said, it'd be fun. I said, bullshit. Oh, she wants to go somewhere to pick cherries, thinking it's going to be fun. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what he was saying.
Strawberry picking.
That's like going strawberry picking.
Berry picking. Shit. They mess up, though, because they should weigh you. You know, they'll tell you at most places, try some, you know. If one's a little darker or whatever, figure out which ones you like and this and that. Shoot, I swear every time I leave that place, I'm 5 pounds heavier. You know, they weigh my pack, but they weigh my little basket, but they never weigh me, so they're lost.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's nearly 5 o'clock, guys. I haven't done my quiz yet, and my cats are sitting here looking at me, one because they're hungry. I'm getting hungry myself. I'm having burgers tonight on the grill because it's beautiful weather out there. So let me wind this up. Let me do my quiz. This is for next Saturday, right? And I think next Saturday is the what's next Saturday? Is it next Saturday? It'll be the 3rd of July. That's right. So my question is, it's real simple. Email me. This is an email question. I want to know the real name of Slim Pickens, and I want to know the most popular story on how he got that name. Email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. So there you go. All right, let's wind this up. I guess Squib got mad at us again and left. So he dropped out and he never came back. So oh well. Anyway, Kingpin, you got any plugs or shout outs?
Oh, yeah, I'll actually do a couple this time. Obviously, G23 is going to be coming up at 6 o'clock Eastern, the only time zone that matters. I just put a link out to the compilation video I did for Let Freedom Ring last year. I encourage everybody to make a Let Freedom Ring video. If you don't know what that is, go watch that link I just put in there, and it'll give you a pretty good idea. Just a quick shooting video that you post at 5 p.m. Eastern on July 4th. And a whole bunch of people are going to do it, so everybody's welcome to get in on that. And also encourage everybody to post an Every Second Matters video for the 2nd of July.
All right. Will and well armed. You got anything?
Yeah, I got a couple more knife review videos coming every Friday for the next 4 or 5 weeks, and then doing some different gun things with a couple of weeks. But that's it. Thank you everybody for subscribing and helping me hit that 1,000. And DJ Play Nice won, so real happy to get him in the 2A community, the AR-15 community.
Yeah. I finally bit the bullet and bought that one out you see floating on my wall there with my RNLdisplay.com wall bracket. It also comes with the desk or table stand too, and use Rick's Life and get 15% off. So there you go. Anyway, New York Outcast, you got anything?
You're on mute.
Nope. Yep. Sorry, I had to find the phone. Sure, if it was in my pocket or where it was. No, I don't have anything. Obviously, if you're interested in a display, check that out. No hard feelings to Squib if I took them off. And other than that, thanks for joining us. Eat a salad, do something healthy, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah. And what I was going to say is, I'll think of ways that I can go off grid on my own homesteads is what I'm looking at. Anyway, I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. We went from one extreme to the other there, and it was fun, I thought, talking about my homesteading, what I want to do. So I'm hoping to make it reality, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, I might end up on the street anyway if prices keep going up and my disability doesn't. So, that's all I was worried about. So anyway, I'm rambling on now, but I'll be back on Wednesday at 7 p.m. and we're shooting with disabilities. And if you guys got any topics for that, email them to me and I'll bring them up. Is there any question you want to ask that you've been afraid to ask? Put it in an email, send it to me, and I'll ask the guys, as long as it's not rude or anything like that. And I will use it as a topic. So there we go. So I'm going to say good evening and good night to everybody. See you all later. Good night, Sabrina.